Hey guys, it's Blaize, and I'm sorry for my appearance. I didn't really get ready much at all for this. This is a bedside manner, as you can tell from the title. I didn't put much makeup on, and the makeup I did put on, I just really didn't care how it came out because it's not one of those kind of videos. So I do apologize beforehand for my appearance. As you guys know, I've been dealing with a very serious and horrible and scary and extremely painful condition going on with my tailbone. And if I could show you the pictures of everything, of how graphic it is, I would, but it is so graphic that it would probably be taken down off of YouTube. Just letting you know, all names will be changed in this video. And this video is a cautionary tale for anybody who's going through any kind of chronic condition. Maybe there are you out there who have had to run into this kind of problem. So I'm just going to get started. I'm not going to go into every single detail of why I am so emotional about this. Some of the things need to stay private, but I will go into as much detail as possible. And if you do see me tearing up, just ignore it. So since early April, the first week of April, since February of 2015, I had a pilonidal cyst, a very large one and a very, very deep one, which is a cyst inside your tailbone. And I had 2 surgeries the night that I got it. I had it one at 10:30 at night at the hospital, and then the next morning at 8:30 in the morning with a surgeon who completely botched the surgery and is probably the reason why I'm still having to deal with this. He was one of the doctors who was a bully and very unprofessional and tricked me. I didn't even realize until I started talking that I had to deal with this before this. I mean, he seemed very nice the morning we went in for him to take the rest of it out. He, said that he did this a billion times, that it looked okay, that I was going to be okay, that recovery was going to take a while, but he was very, very optimistic, and he was very, very nice personally to me and to my parents. Then, after about a week, and I still wasn't getting any pain relief, and I was still in agonizing pain, when we would call up the office, he told us to come back in, so we did, and he looked at it, and he said, well, I don't know why she's still in pain. She shouldn't still be in pain. I don't know why she's in pain. Some people just have a low pain tolerance, which is true. I have a very low pain tolerance. You wouldn't think so, because I've been dealing with chronic pain illnesses for over 11 years now. But I do. But his attitude when we came into the office this time was much different than the first time. And so he just kind of threw his arms up in the air and we left. And a couple days went by and we called back saying, listen, I'm still in pain. Why? What's wrong? Is there possibly something in there? So I had tests done, and he called us back saying, look, all we're seeing is inflammation, and and he even had, not himself, he had his employees, his receptionists, when we called, told us to stop calling them, and that he refused to ever see me again. Now, this was at a time when we had no idea what was going on. We were scared, we were alone, and he just dropped us because he either A, he knew he botched the surgery and that's why I was in pain, or B, he didn't have a clue why I was in pain and was just annoyed with us. But his attitude went from really, really nice and confident to, I don't want to hear from you anymore. So that was last year. That was a year and a half ago. I've had to deal with a lot of doctors who bullied me, who have outright accused me of being something that I'm not, of doing things that I did not do, and who hurt me greatly, either physically, emotionally, or mentally, or all three. Another doctor, well, she wasn't really a doctor, she was technically a nurse, who was my first pain doctor. I'm not going to go into what happened there, but again, she was extremely sweet the first couple visits that I went to her, and she was very understanding. She heard of all of my chronic pain illnesses. She was taking really good care of me, and she was just the sweetest woman. And I even wrote on my personal Facebook page that I finally found the doctor that I've been waiting for so many years. And out of nowhere, one day when I went to go see her, she didn't come into the room. She had her only male worker who was working there at the time, male assistant who was working there at the time, come in and tell me that I did something that I did not do, and we even have it documented on paper that I did not do this. And he said, we are no longer going to be seeing you. You are discharged from this clinic. She herself did not come in and tell me this. She would not speak to me. I had no idea what was going on because he showed me the paper to say, look, this is what you did. And I was like, but if you're looking at the paper, I didn't do this. And you guys are in charge of a lot of my very important medications. What am I supposed to do? And they just were like, we don't know. But he literally took me on my lower back and shoved me out of the office. And I was without for about a month to a month and a half. I was almost without completely some of my most major medications that I need on a daily basis. I couldn't believe it because, like I said, this woman was so nice to me, and I did not understand, and I didn't know why all of a sudden she was just like, bye, not gonna see you. And she wouldn't even talk to me directly. She didn't even have the girl balls to talk to me directly. But the reason I'm making this video is because it's now, oh my god, it's early morning. I can't tell what time it is. It's like almost 6 a.m. What day is it? Saturday. So on Thursday, so the issue with my tailbone has just been getting worse and worse. We don't know. We've been to so many doctors. I've had stitches. You guys, if you've been following me for a long time, you've been through the ride with me. You guys know I've had stitches. I've had liquid stitches. I've had super glue, which was the worst thing you could have done. I've had literally over 150 people, mostly men, looking at my bare bottom and looking at my tailbone and just going, we don't know. We don't know. You need to go to, you need to go to a wound specialist. So that's what we did. And my first appointment was this past April, the first week of April. And we're going to call this doctor, Dr. D, and that's it. I am going to be going on this clinic's site, or on all sites as I possibly can, and talking and ripping this doctor apart, because she has no shame. So the first day we went in there, Dr. D was my set doctor, and she was, again, very, very nice, very, very calming, because I was very terrified. I didn't know what to expect, and I was like, can you please tell me what's wrong with me? And she seemed very confident. She said she's seen these kinds of wounds before, that, you know, they're very easy to get healed. Not easy to heal, but, you know, it's not going to heal in like a couple weeks, but she had seen this before, that this was not unheard of. So she was trying to get any kind of concerns that I had and my parents had out of the way. So my first visit went really well. I mean, they chemically burned me without telling me that's what they were doing, which you have no idea how much, unless you've had it happen, how unbelievably painful that is. And they did a debridement, which means they cut my skin away from that area. Now, if you guys have been following me, you guys know I've had at-home nurse care. I've been having care around the clock with this since the first week of April. Basically, my tailbone is very, the skin around it is extremely thin and very, very weak, and it never fully developed and healed properly after my surgeries from my pilonidal cyst. So every time I would go to sit down, it would split open, and my bathroom looks like a crime scene, like, or a thing out of a horror movie. I mean, it's just so much blood. And it's a very, very scary looking wound. I have like a hole in my tailbone area, a visible hole. I mean, when they do measurements, they do depth, so there is a hole in my wound. And I've shown my best friends and my family, well, not my immediate family, but other family members. I've shown it to them, and they were extremely disturbed, and they were very comforting. So by the second visit, she came in, she sounded very nice again, but this time she was talking with my mother, and she said, you know, she's 27 years old. You're too good of a mother to her. You're being too good of a mother. She's 27. You shouldn't have to be babying her anymore. First of all, I want to get out of the way. My mother does not baby me. My mother takes care of her offspring, as a mother should. And I understand people when they say, you know, you're at such an age, but I have 7 chronic pain illnesses, along with 4 other types of chronic illnesses, which has me on permanent disability. And that is why my mother helps take care of me. So my mother was quite offended at that, and you would have to have been there to hear her tone with that. And by the next visit, she came in literally for less than 60 seconds, and she didn't even look at my wound unless my mother was there saying, can you take a look? And she would look, yeah, okay. And she just started throwing her hands up in the air and just saying, I don't know what else to do. Now, I'm not going to say my favorite nurse's name. I'm going to change it to Jenny. I am hoping she's going to be watching this video, because I miss her a lot. But basically, the home care nurses, they take orders from this wound clinic, from this doctor. So if she gives certain orders, they have to follow it. Even if they think it's not what I need, they need to follow the doctor's orders. They have to. That's their job. They can't go and do anything else, even if they know that this is not what I need, which was most of the time what was going on. And Jenny was especially involved in my life, and she was very, very close to me and trying so hard, and did everything that she genuinely could to help me and try to get me better, to the point where she was calling the wound care center nonstop every single day for like 3 weeks, and they weren't getting back to her. So she took time. We didn't ask her to do this. She took time out of her schedule when she had a cancellation and drove like an hour to this wound clinic to go confront them personally, because they weren't getting back to her at all. And when she got in there, there were no patients, and all the staff was just sitting back in the back, just shooting the breeze and just talking and laughing. They weren't even on phones, which is highly unethical. So this past Thursday we went, because usually it would be, I would have waited 2 weeks, but we had to go in this week because from Sunday to Thursday I had opened up and bled severely bad 4 different times, including once in the clinic's bathroom when I went to go sit, because I have a prescription raised toilet seat on my toilet in my bathroom, because it helps, so I'm not bending completely. So when I went to go use their facilities, obviously I'm not used to normal side, the normal standing of a normal toilet seat, and I bent down and I started bleeding. And when I started freaking out, because now I'm not at home, I'm in the public, and I'm bleeding in public. And so I'm like taking my hands and, I'm like trying to stop it. And then with the other hand, I'm calling my mom on my cell phone and saying, come in here, get in here, I'm bleeding. And she comes in with a very, very nasty, snotty nurse who basically just literally shoved inside this open wound just tons of paper towels, not even toilet paper, just hard paper towel, shoving it in there and like pushing it on me. I understand she has to apply pressure, but I was like screaming because it was hurting so bad. So they take me back to the back room, and she's not really a triage nurse, but she's the one who takes, what's your pain level today? Have you left the country in the past week that we've seen you? That kind of thing. She was typing up a novel. Literally, me and my mother were looking at each other like, what the hell is she doing? We were talking to her and asking her things, and she literally said nothing. Nothing, not one word. She didn't even acknowledge that we were talking. She didn't even give us a mm-hmm or a yeah or a oh. Nothing. She was completely mute. So the doctor comes in, and this is the part where I promised that I was not going to discuss. All I'm going to say is she accused me of doing something very horrible that I would never, ever do, not just to myself, but to my family. She flat out humiliated me and insulted me greatly in front of both my parents. And if I wasn't in such agony, I would have torn her apart. My mother tore her apart and was giving her proof to how I did not do what she was accusing me of. Now, I know that there are people out there who have this. I've known people who had this kind of thing, who have done this. I'm not one of them. So after all that, she just kind of caved in. And she was going to use the silver nitrate on me again, which is the chemical that burns your skin to stop bleeding. And, you know, it was only bleeding from one place, but she said it was bleeding from 5 different places. So she burned me in 5 different places. Not only did she burn me in 5 different places, but she did it without numbing me. She numbed me with a syringe after she burned me. So not only was I screaming from the burning, now I'm screaming from the needle that is being put directly in my skin that was just chemically burned off my body. I am making this video for anybody out there who is going through situations where they are chronically ill or chronically injured or anything like that. Just to let you know, I refuse to see Dr. D ever again. I will not allow her to be my doctor. I actually have information on her that, you know, but I'm not going to go there. And second of all, she's not even a wound care specialist. She's a plastic surgeon. So this isn't even her field. But the video, the reason for this video was because I want to reach people out there to let you know that just because people are higher up, like authority figures, whether they be doctors, whether they be lawyers, whether, you know, anything, especially with doctors, you have to remember, always, you do not work for the doctor. The doctor works for you. You are the one in charge, not the doctor. Do not let any kind of doctor bully you or make you seem like a bad person or make you feel like you are crazy. And if you are having this kind of situation with a doctor, I really highly recommend you try to find one that, I mean, I have been going through doctors left and right trying to find the best one for so many years now, and I still haven't found one. These doctors think they can treat you this way because they have a degree and you're their patient, and they don't think that you have a backbone. They think that they can treat you that way and there's no consequences for it. If you're having to deal with doctors like this, there are sites, there are places online where you can go, such as Yelp and all these other different sites where you can go and complain about and give honest reviews on your experience with these doctors. So maybe you can't like get them fired or anything, but you can at least warn other people and tarnish their good name on the internet. Thank the goddess for the internet nowadays. The thing is, the only other wound care center around where I live has an even worse reputation than the one I'm currently at. So I have no choice really but to stay at the one that I'm at, even though I really never want to step foot there again. But I don't care how long I have to wait. I'm not seeing Dr. D ever again. She has humiliated me. She has insulted me. I have been crying now for 2 days straight. And that's why this is a bedside manner video. Also, it's a bedside manner because I can't sit. I can't sit at all. I can't sit while I'm eating, which is like really messy and really hard to do. I can't sit up when I'm putting my makeup on, which is why my makeup looks like shit today. I can barely sit to go to the bathroom. Because some doctors can be sadistic. And I understand why she had to burn the wound for the blood to stop. She didn't have to overdo so much of the burning that she did. And I am in complete agony. And physical pain will take such a toll on you emotionally and mentally. It will break you down, especially when it's chronic, when it doesn't give you 1 second of peace, 1 second of relief. But not only that, now I have just the memory of hearing what this doctor accused me of. She has broken me completely. She has broken my spirit. And I need that in order to heal properly. And now I don't even have that. Because she took that from me. When a doctor realizes they don't know what they're doing, and realizes they don't know what further to do, they will put it all and they will blame it all on the patient. And that is what these doctors do. I promised my mother I wasn't going to ramble on in this video and make it a dragged out video. I'm sorry if I did, but I really needed to get this off my chest. And because I can't sit, because I am so chronically ill at the moment, I can't sit in a therapist chair. So, I have you guys. But it wasn't just for that, it was a cautionary tale to make sure that you know who you're going to when it comes to your doctors, and don't just sit with your tail between your legs with doctors who are bullies, with doctors who are sadistic, with doctors who are cruel. Just because they're doctors doesn't mean they're any more of a person than you are. I don't know where or when it starts, from when doctors go from being compassionate people to horrible, disgusting, rude, and nasty, and heartless sons of bitches. So, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, unless they're nasty or rude, and you'll be reported. If you've had situations similar to this, or, situations that you want to get off your chest, anything like that, I'm a good person to talk to. If you don't want to leave it in the comments for everybody to see, I always leave my personal email in the beginning of my videos and in the description box below. So you guys can email me your stories at any time, and I'd be more than happy to listen. And as me and my mom say, I'd like to see them with the tables turned. I'd like to see them on the other side. of the table and have them be the patient and have a doctor treat them like this. So I'm going to end this video now because I'm in a very uncomfortable position. Even though I'm not sitting, it's still very uncomfortable. I'm not going to do my normal outro because this was more of a serious video. I'm sorry that it is more of a serious video and I'm not being my upbeat, peppy self, but this doctor broke me in many ways and I can't be that person right now. But if you would like to and be so kind to subscribe right now, I always have beauty related giveaways, contests, and raffles all free all the time on your end. And stay strong, stay wicked, and until next time, later Blazers.